Josh Giddey is breaking out and going on an offensive rampage right now, right in time, right before the playoffs. Also, an NBA legend is dissing SGA. Before we get into all that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and now we'll get into it. Josh Giddey has been a player for years now, for the past 2 years, that Thunder fans have had their eyes on for quite a while now because he's kind of this weird specimen. He's listed as a shooting guard, but he doesn't really shoot the ball at an efficient and high enough rate to be a true two guard in the NBA. He has more of a point guard skill set and everything right now. He passes well. He has great court awareness and everything. It's just the scoring has always been a little bit iffy with the player. And then also, beginning of the season, he wasn't really playing well to begin with on all aspects of the court. There's a bunch of off-court stuff going on that clearly has affected his play. But now Josh Giddey is breaking out, and he's looking like an offensive threat that the Thunder have needed him to be now this year. Especially with SGA being out, they needed someone to step up and carry the load. People thought it was going to be J-Dub. People thought maybe Chet would carry it. Surprisingly enough, it's been Giddey. Giddey's been carrying this load, as you can see here. Giddey is averaging 25 points a game right now, 8.3 rebounds, and 5.3 assists in his last 3 games. And you can't forget either, in the month of March, he is averaging 18.5 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, 7.3 assists in 17 games here in March. And he's been playing really well. It's been helping this Thunder team get a few wins here of late, when SGA hasn't really been on the top of his game. The last 3 games, SGA's been kind of iffy. They lost to the Rockets last night, of course. Yes, that's a devastating loss in overtime. Giddey played well, though. He had 31 points in the overtime loss. He's been going on a rampage. He's been shooting lights out of the gym as of late for this Thunder team. And it's going to be just enough for this push for the Thunder to see if he carries it into the playoffs to help them win a series or 2 here and make it to the Western Conference Finals. I have high hopes for the Thunder, especially if Giddey keeps playing like this. However, there are some other players that have been playing down as of late, such as Chet Holmgren. Only had 2 points last night in the loss, and that kind of attributes to why they lost that game. Even though Alperen Sengun was out for the Rockets, you would expect Chet to go on this rampage and everything and share this load with Giddey, but Giddey's doing all the work himself right now with J-Dub coming in every once in a while and helping out when he needs to. Now, going to the next topic of discussion here, Paul Pierce has been dissing SGA as of late, claiming that he isn't a superstar in this league, which is kind of absurd to think about. SGA, the leading MVP candidate, isn't a superstar in your eyes? What does it mean to be a superstar? Well, he talked about it a little bit and everything. Even though SGA is having a really good season right now in his 6th NBA season, former Boston Celtics star Paul Pierce thinks he isn't a bigger superstar than Los Angeles Clippers floor general James Harden. And here's the quote: "I don't think Shai is a superstar yet. I think he's on the verge of it. I think it's still some places he can go because they're not on national TV every week. You know, he's not in the commercial. He's an emerging superstar. He has everything. The ingredients. He's in the oven right now, Lord. He's in the oven. He ain't come out the oven yet. Not yet. No, he's not. He's an emerging superstar. James Harden is still a bigger superstar than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You crazy," Pierce said. So what? Being a superstar means you have to be in some commercials? That's what it means? If that's the case, Luka Doncic isn't a superstar. You don't see him in commercials all the time. Sure, SGA has his partnership with Skims. But to be a superstar in the league, you have to play at a high and efficient rate and everything, and that's what SGA is doing. He's been balling out every night, averaging 31 points per game. The only player averaging more points per game right now than him is Luka Doncic, and they're neck and neck right now in the MVP race. And so I think it's crazy how Paul Pierce is considering a superstar in the league is you have to be in commercials. You have to play on national television every night. So what? It's a small market team. We know that. OKC is a small market team, and we have a superstar on our team. It doesn't mean you don't have to make guest appearances in TV shows and movies and, star in these commercials to be a superstar. No one cares about that. What people care about is your personality on the court, which SGA has amazing aura. He does. He has a personality when he plays. And then also, you have to play well. You have to be a great player in this league to be even considered a superstar, and SGA does that. He's an MVP candidate. And so I don't get what Paul Pierce is saying that SGA isn't a superstar yet. He's in the oven, which is great. He's recognizing SGA, but he's not a superstar? The leading MVP candidate is not a superstar to one of the greatest shooting guards in NBA history, a Celtics legend. He's not a superstar to him, apparently, just because he doesn't appear in commercials. I think Paul Pierce needs to get it checked out a little bit and focus on the game instead of the off-court activities, because that's what's going to change this Thunder team coming to the playoff times now, is getting everyone healthy, getting everyone on the court, and not worrying about anything else going off the court here. Saw it in the first half. Thunder kind of struggled a little bit. They were playing well, but they had player struggles sometimes and everything because of all the off-court scandals going on back in November and December and everything. You could tell. Now, however, this team's really kicking in a high gear and everything the past month or so. And the Thunder are looking dangerous. They're competing for this 1 seed in the West right now. They're behind Denver and everything. They're really competing for it. They're competing for that 1 seed and trying to make some movement in the playoffs right now. And it'll be their first time making it since I believe would be 2021, 2020. I don't know the exact year, but it's been a while since we were actually in the playoffs and not the play-in. And so now going into my final topic here, I want to talk about the Thunder bench. The Thunder bench has been coming in clutch lately. It has been. You look at the stats and everything, and you also... Right now, our rotation is about 10, 11 man deep. All right, it's a deep rotation of guys that we're subbing in and out. All right, we got Gordon Hayward, Isaiah Joe, the other Jalen Williams, Kenrich Williams, Aaron Wiggins, who has saved basketball. We have all these guys coming off the bench. Now, we're about to go in the playoffs, and the playoffs usually only have a 7 to 8 man rotation. That's how it works and everything. You don't want to be subbing in guys who do just enough to kind of, keep the game close and everything. But in those moments and everything, you want your best players on the court. You don't want your 10th best guy going against their 2nd best guy. You'd rather have your 8th best guy going against their 2nd and 3rd best guy. That's what the Thunder are doing. They're figuring out who their guys are. And as you can see from the box score here, we had 3 players coming off the bench score in double-digit points. You look at that. Gordon Hayward, 4 for 7 from the field, 3 for 3 from behind the arc for 13 points. Then you got Isaiah Joe with 17 points coming off the bench, 4 for 6 from 3, 6 for 10 from the field, and an insane posterizer last night that is going to be talked about for days to come. And then Aaron Wiggins, once again, like I mentioned, he saved basketball. He's saving this Thunder team as well right now. 7 for 9 from the field in 25 minutes, 2 for 3 from behind the arc with 16 points. That's impressive. That is impressive, especially when you have guys like Lou Dort who slacked last night. Chet Holmgren, who slacked last night. Those guys that aren't doing what they do offensively usually, it's nice to have these guys coming off the bench and doing that. Then Cason Wallace started in SGA's place last night, which I wasn't really complaining about. After watching the performance, however, I think maybe Isaiah Joe should start when SGA isn't able to go, or like when Giddey isn't able to go, or Dort isn't. I think he should be our 6th man, and our true 6th man coming off the bench first, and also start in someone's place when they're injured. I think he played the best. He's a spot-up shooter and everything. He's deadly from behind the arc. And you also saw last night, he's not afraid to get down low and get dirty and try to yam it on someone every once in a while. And so I think the Thunder bench is coming in clutch. I think we're playing well, as with the bench and everything. And I think we've found our true 8-man rotation come playoff time. I think it's Chet, SGA, Giddey, Dort, and J-Dub. And then the other 8 that we got and everything, it's Gordon Hayward, Isaiah Joe, and Aaron Wiggins. Now, I could see the other Jalen Williams, J-Will, being in that rotation and everything. Maybe us going a 9-man rotation, because Chet Holmgren can't play the whole game. He's not. He's going to get winded, and he won't be able to play as well down the court and everything. And J-Will does enough to kind of suffice us and everything for a good 2 to 3 minutes. All right? He's good for 2 to 3 minutes out there. He can take a couple charges. He does well defensively and everything. And so I think a 9-man rotation would be fine. Really, you want to get down to that 8-man rotation, and I think we have finally found it. That's all I got for the Thunder news for today. Last night, Thunder lost to the Rockets, 132 to 126. A devastating loss. However, it's without SGA. With him, completely different story. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date and everything, and I'll see y'all in the next video.